Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the culmination. It is the culmination. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give it a few minutes before we start, but I want to say thank you all for being here. Everyone looks beautiful. It's going to be a great day and a great celebration. Thank you all. And again, my name is Dr. Dennis Johnson. I have the honor and the pleasure today to welcome you all to EXP's, the Opportunity Engines Young Fellows Program, the culmination of the year 2021. This is our first one, and I promise you all it would not be our last. Again, thank you all for coming. Pat yourself on the back for the mentors and also for the students. I want you to just give yourself a round of applause. We really, really appreciate you all being here. This culmination is going to detail a story in which we talk about not only how the program started, but what the program consisted of. To be our keynote speaker, we have EXPN's very own Paul Gutierrez. He's going to give us, honestly, you all, one of the best speeches we've had. We've had multiple speakers from every different industry dealing with different topics, but honestly, Paul is going to put, I'm going to say, the nail in the coffin or the cherry on top. It's really, really going to be amazing. I'm glad you all are here to see it. We're also going to give an overview of the program for those who may not be familiar, and also for those who really want to find out what consisted, what did this program really look like? What was it about? What did the students have to go through in order to, get to the culmination? Next, we have some student testimonies and some mentor testimonies, and then we're going to give out some money, and then we're going to discuss what's next for the Young Fellows program. But I also wanted to be, well known that this program would not have existed without Hancock and Julia Banning Trust. Not only Hancock and Julia Banning, but like when we think of people like Daniela, we think of Prologis. When we first start having discussions about this program, me, Amy, Nicole, the EXP team, Kenya and Eva, and we were like, okay, what we want the program to consist of. We listed all these components. And I was like, y'all, we're asking young Black and brown men to give their time for free. What are we going to give them? And it was like, Amy was like, I'm going to put out the word. I'm going to, see what we can do. And next thing I know, we had people knocking on the door willing to give. And when I say willing to give, as in like it wasn't a trend. It wasn't, okay, let me give back because I feel like these students are suffering. It was like more of a let me do the right thing. Let me make a step in the right direction. And the names you see here are people who made a step in the right direction. And honestly, not only provided the resources for us to be here today, but honestly provided and helped sustain some lifelong partnerships between these fellows and between these mentors. Would you all please put your hands together and just thank these people? I know Daniela can make it today. I know Julia is on. Thank you so much, Julia. And Prologis is always a family member, just like Julia Banning is of the EXP family. Amy, did you want to say anything?
I just want to say thank you, but you're doing it amazing, Dr. D. So
okay.
Continue.
Thank you. But again, thank you all as well. And I also want to say I've been doing this work for a very, very long time. Usually when we see people give money, for these specific type of causes, somebody has to die, right? Or get killed, or it has to be a national headline of a young Black or brown person getting hurt. But I was so happy that EXP did this program because it was like, hey, we've been talking about this for a while. The timing is right now. We have the resources here. Let's make it happen. And it's good to see that, though I'm going to be leaving and I'll be talking about it later, but this program is going to continue. Like, it's something that's really in my heart and it's really deep. And I'm just really grateful for this. And I hope that those partners I see now stay with the EXP family and just continue to grow it. But I have somebody else I want to speak to. I'm not going to take up all y'all time, okay? So I'm going to introduce Paul Gutierrez, you all. He's going to be our keynote speaker for today. So Paul Gutierrez is a multi-platform reporter who covers the Las Vegas Raiders for ESPN.com. Appearing on television, radio, and online, the Barstow High School and University of Nevada, Las Vegas graduate. Let's say it again. The Barstow High School and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas graduates has worked for Sports Illustrated, the Las Vegas Review Journal, the Los Angeles Times, the Sacramento Bee, the CSN Bay Area.com, and many, 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 many more companies. He's also involved in journalism programs in the California Chicano News Media Association, the Freedom Forum, the Sports Journalism Institute, the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, and he authored 2 books. Like, he is this is a walking machine. Paul is like, and this is we worked with Paul before, and I'm so happy that that Patty was able to connect us to him. But Paul is like, I wish I had another word for jack of all trades, but he's one of the people, when you look at perfection, like Paul is up there. He's like that shiny sun that you see, and you like, it's in my eyes, it's in my eyes. In other words, not only just a really good man, but a really good role model, and honestly, somebody in which these young men can look up to and hopefully inspire to be one day. His books are Tommy Davis, The Tales from the Dodgers Dugout. And he also has another one, which is 100 Things Raider fans should know and do before they die. So Paul still lives in California. His wife is actually here too. She covers the San Francisco Giants for NBC Sports Bay Area, and they have 2 children together. Would you all please give me a round of applause while welcoming Paul? Thank you, Paul. The show is all yours, all right?
Dr. Dennis, thank you so much for that far too kind introduction. Besides Barstow High and UNLV grad, also Barstow College. So gotta, keep the representing where I can, right? But again, thank you for that introduction. Truly, the honor is all mine. What you instructors and mentors have done for these young men is incredible. What you young men have accomplished over the last few months, though, in what has become a new normal in this pandemic, that's really nothing short of incredible. Because I remember when I was getting ready to graduate from high school, Barstow High, way back in 1988. And the keynote speaker at our band awards, I played trumpet when I wasn't wrestling, playing football or baseball or working out of my dad's karate class. That keynote speaker said something to the effect of, I envy you, that he wished he could trade places with us soon to be graduates, that, with all that promise and the life ahead of us and the wide open canvas. Then he stopped himself. No, I don't, he said. Good luck. We all laughed. And now 33 years later, I think I kind of understand what he was talking about, because now I'm kind of feeling like I like him as I congratulate all of you on finishing this program. The possibilities for you are endless. And I trust, given the areas you covered in EXP's Young Fellows program, you are armed with way more knowledge and resources as you embark on the world than I was back in the day. And for that, yes, I do envy you. I saw that one of your modules was on mental health, and it wasn't too long ago. That was a taboo subject for men, young and old, and especially those of us of color, to talk about. Suck it up, we were told. Get over it. Be a man. ¿Quién es más macho? Right? Something like that. Well, for you, you've had to grow up in this new normal, so to speak, where a pandemic brings issues such as anxiety and depression to the forefront, especially with limited social interaction. That isn't normal. I couldn't imagine going through what you guys have done at your age. I was thinking about this the other day. I couldn't even imagine going home for spring break as a high school junior and never returning to campus. No more classroom setting, no more hanging out at lunch, no more school dances. Suddenly you're in the real world. You got to figure out, you're going military, you're getting a job, you're going to college. We need that social interaction because that is what's normal. And it's okay to talk about those things. Being a man of color, I never would have thought of uttering those words growing up because I grew up in the stereotypical Latino, Mexican-American, Chicano household, the dominant father figure, the mom who took care of everything. Except my dad taught me it was okay to cry. Mijo, he'd tell me, it's okay to show your emotions, so long as you're able to control them. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to feel. So what does it mean to be a man? Well, to be true to yourself and to be kind, compassionate, empathetic, in my opinion. To lend a helping hand when possible and take one when in need. There's no weakness there. A lot of the life lessons that were imparted on me by my dad were heavily influenced by martial arts. He started when I was 3 years old, and he still teaches to this day in Barstow. Yeah, a Latino male who's been a father figure to generations in my hometown, teaching an ancient Asian martial art in the desert. Talk about mental health, right? Well, you have to be able to adapt, not only in school or a career, but more importantly in life. You have to know when to push, when to retreat, to agitate, as Frederick Douglass advised, and as John Lewis told us, to make good trouble. It's all about advocacy and organizing, right? And that's exactly what I tried to do in my job when it came to pushing for Tom Flores, the first minority coach to win a Super Bowl. And he won 2 of them with the Raiders as their coach to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. As a journalist, the job is to remain objective and impartial, but you should also point out inequities when you see them. So for years, I banged that drum for Flores to get to Canton, Ohio. I wrote opinion pieces. I spoke about it on the radio. I reached out to the voters who elect the Hall of Fame classes. And I wrote more articles, and I went on the radio again. I talked about it on TV, some more. Not only was he the first minority coach to win a Super Bowl, he was the first Latino starting quarterback in professional football history in 1960. He was a trailblazer, and he won. Finally, and deservedly so, it happened in February. Flores, who reminds me so much of my late grandpa on my dad's side, was chosen. He'll be inducted in August. And now, I'm not saying it was all my doing, not even a little bit, right? Coors Light had a pretty sick campaign for him, putting his face on cans and running some classic commercials. But if I did have any part in helping him get what he deserves, then that was truly a labor of love. He deserves it, and his family deserves it. And in talking to him on the phone the day it was announced, he thanked me for the help, and that was reward in itself. Again, he deserved it without my help, but it does feel good to be an advocate for a worthy cause. So dream your wildest dreams. My career has taken me to places I never would have dreamed of growing up. Mexico, the Dominican Republic, even England. And it's allowed me to meet and write about some of my childhood heroes like Fernando Valenzuela. I've now written 3 books, 1 on the Dodgers and 2 on the Raiders, and I show up on ESPN Sports Center every now and again. I've written about minority issues, and yeah, I've gotten racist hate mail, racist voicemails. I think my favorite, though, was some old man left me a voicemail on my old Sacramento Bee work phone number. He told me that I was lucky to be in this country, lucky, that the U.S. had fought wars for my people. He called me an anchor baby, ignorantly, obviously, because he didn't know that my grandpa actually stormed Normandy in World War II and that my dad was in Vietnam when I was born in 1970. Of course, I posted the message on Facebook so I could show everybody, hey, look at this crazy voicemail I got. And the mayor of Barstow at the time was a friend of mine. He saw it, and he wrote back on it. He said that my hometown had my back. He doesn't realize, the mayor wrote of my critic, when you mess with one bean, you get the whole burrito. And I don't think that people still talk about that to this day. The mayor of Barstow keeping it that real. And it was true. And that's part of the life lesson as you're going through life. You're going to figure out who are the real people, who are not, and you just kind of go from there. The first step of my career was using those resources that I talked about earlier at my disposal. The California Chicano News Media Association introduced me to a whole new world with scholarships. It helped me get that first internship through the Freedom Forum CHIPS Quinn Scholars Program, which was a program designed to get more minorities into newsrooms to better reflect the communities in which they cover. Then I got another internship at the Orange County Register, this one through the Sports Journalism Institute, which again had the same mission, but specifically to sports for minorities and women as well. So my advice is make as many contacts as you can as you embark on your personal journey. I had a subscription to Sports Illustrated when I was 13. I started working there at 25. I grew up poring over the LA Times sports page, and I became a staff writer there at 29. And ESPN, well, that was seemingly always on our TV growing up. And now my name and face pop up there, and it helps me pay my mortgage. Dreams, yeah, I've had a few. And through luck, preparation, and the guidance of role models through the years, not unlike what you've experienced these past few months, I've been able to realize most of them. I wish you the same success. Again, thank you for having me, but more importantly, congratulations. And yeah, I do envy you. And good luck.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that keynote. You all, we do have some pictures and stuff we would like to show you all. No, man, Paul. Patty, can we pull it up?
Yeah, this is a fun photo here. And when I was talking with Dr. Dennis and with Patty and the others to try to do, to be the keynote speaker, again, for which I'm very grateful. And for me, it's all about paying back and paying it forward. It's funny. This picture kind of speaks to that to me because it shows a lot of different things in my life when I was 12 years old. I want to say this was actually on my 12th birthday. I'm the one kneeling. That's my baby brother next to me. And ignore the fact that his trophy's a lot bigger than mine, right? But the thing that's real interesting to me is when I saw this picture, the first thing that popped up, besides my brother having a bigger trophy, is I'm wearing a Property of Raiders t-shirt, which just to me is like, I don't really remember wearing Raiders gear and repping the Raiders way back when, but I must have, obviously, or my dad was dressing me up because my dad was a Raider fan. And it just shows me that there's like these common themes have always come through in my life, whether it was martial arts, family, and this team in silver and black that I've covered since I was 18 years old in one way or another. Same photo, just kind of blown up a little bit. And I think it just kind of shows, again, it goes, my dad taught at the Barstow YMCA at this time. So we'd get a bucket like that and we'd all pile in and we'd go to tournaments. And I think that was a classmate of ours, or I think this guy he actually took classes at a different school in Barstow, but again, it's all family, and we all go together and we all compete together, and it's family. And you'll find that whether it's in martial arts, your career, your life, the people you choose to be around. Again, that's what this photo represents to me. Yeah, the first ever credential I've had, representing the Barstow Desert Dispatch. And you can see how they had to scratch out somebody's name and put my name on it. And in a post 9/11 world, I don't think you could get away with this. But yeah, the first ever Raider game I covered, December of 1988. I was 18 years old, scared to death, had no idea what I was doing. But the hook for me was I was taking classes at Barstow College, taking a journalism class, trying to figure it out. And the backup center for the Seattle Seahawks, Grant Fiesel, was also from Barstow. So that was the hook. That's how the Barstow Desert Dispatch was able to get a credential to send me down there to interview Grant. And anybody that's been through Barstow or knows about Barstow or has grown up in Barstow, of course, Grant Fiesel and I, rest in peace for him now. But that day we talked about Del Taco. This is fun because John Gruden is now, he's entering his 4th season as the head coach of the Raiders since he returned after 9 years in ESPN's Monday Night Football booth. And one of the first things he did was he took all of the beat writers out to dinner. So that's me in the middle, and that's John Gruden right next to me. And yeah, John's not that tall, but he took us all out to this steak dinner at this swank restaurant. So everybody that's there is a reporter, except for a PR director, John Gruden, John's top assistant, and the defensive coordinator at the time. We all went out, had a great time, watched the Warriors basketball playoff game on TV, had steak, had some wine. And for some reason, though, he hasn't invited us back because they haven't won as many games, and the coverage probably been a little more critical than he likes. But it's pretty cool when a guy like that reaches out and wants to kind of get to know you on a personal level. This is last year. Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, I've been able to develop a pretty good professional relationship with him over the years. And he took over the team after his father passed away in 2011, and a lot of people make fun of the haircut. He doesn't care. He gets that haircut done specially. Last time he told me he used to go to Palm Springs area to get it done there. He has a special barber that does it just for him. But this photo here is he's giving me and our ESPN camera crew a behind the scenes personalized tour of Allegiant Stadium. And for me, on a personal level, again, grew up watching the Raiders, grew up a fan of the Raiders, not so much a fan anymore because I'm covering the team. But growing up, going to Vegas, going to UNLV, seeing this stadium pop up in the desert right across from where I used to hang out in college, it was just a mind-blowing experience. And for Mark Davis to invite me and cameras, and we went throughout the stadium, and he gave us, like I said, an all-access backstage tour of the place. And it's one of those highlights of my career where you're able to see some things that the general public will not. And if they get fans in there this season, I think fans are just going to be blown away with how just special this place is. Because the Oakland Coliseum, it was gritty, but it was a dump. But as the Raiders would tell you, it was their dump. This place is the Raiders all of its own. John Gruden had a rally at a sports bar up in the Bay Area called Ricky's. It's voted the #2 sports bar in the country by Sports Illustrated a few years ago. And he showed up, and the place was packed. And I had a camera there for ESPN, and John gave me some time, and we talked about what the plans were at the time. This is before they played a single game when he returned. This is in 2018. And again, it was just great to be able to talk to him on a one-on-one level and to get in on the ground level. And it helps you as time goes by. You make these contacts, like I mentioned in the speech, and I have his cell number. So if there's something that's really pressing, I'll text him and just ask for a yes or no answer, or I'll need a quote for somebody I'm writing a story on, or if I just want to see what's going on. But you also develop, personal type of relationships with people too. You want to know how families are. I don't know if you dive that far deep into it, but behind the curtain a little bit here, my son's a sophomore in high school, blew out his ACL in high school football this spring when they jump-started it. And out of the blue, we got a text from John Gruden wishing my son a speedy recovery and giving him good wishes. So again, it goes back to developing those relationships, not necessarily friendships, but relationships in this industry. And that's one of the last few games ever in Oakland. Cameraman Sean and myself, we're there hours before kickoff. I think this was a night game, so 5:20 p.m. Pacific kickoff. We're there about 1 o'clock because the shows, again, ESPN is based in Bristol, Connecticut, 3 hours ahead. They want stuff from location all the time. So we got to get there early, and that's fine because there's nobody there. But what struck me about this day, this was one of the last few games, if not the last game in Oakland. And the crew that was there setting the field up and getting the stadium ready for 54,000 people to show up later that night. They were bumping some Bob Marley in the stadium. So it was me, my cameraman Sean, and Bob Marley just hanging out in the Oakland Coliseum. Same thing. This is a screenshot from TV. My main job is to write for ESPN.com, for the website. So that's where all of my work is going to be. And there are times where if TV is interested and if something big happens, TV is going to want you to be on TV as well. And this is an example of it. This is the day that the Raiders brought Richie Incognito out of a 1-year retirement to play offensive line for them. And it was a big deal because he had been in a lot of trouble. He deals with a lot of mental health issues himself. He's not ashamed to talk about it. It's been a real eye-opening experience talking with him because of a lot of things that he's gotten in trouble with. And you just try to connect with somebody on a human level. And with Richie, it's been real interesting because he came in with a terrible reputation. And I hate to say it this way, but since he's been with the Raiders, he's been on nothing but his best behavior. Now, that's not me looking down on him. It's just that's kind of the way things are. Because even when he was signed, the general manager, Mike Mayock, was asked, why are you going to bring in somebody like this? And he said, well, you can't have 53 Boy Scouts out there. So he brings a little bit of that red ass to the locker room, and he's been around the way. So he knows how to do some things, and he's respected in that locker room. Antonio Brown, this was a mess. This guy, he is a social media firestorm. He was a blessing and a curse. From the time the Raiders acquired him in a trade in March of 19 until they finally mercifully had to cut him in August, early September of 19. I think I was on SportsCenter more in those few months than I have in the previous 7 years combined. Just a strange bird. Seemed like said all the right things, did all the right things, but when it came time to play, he just wanted out. And there was one time where I was driving home from Alameda, and I live in Petaluma, about an hour drive away, 55 miles or so. And the story I had filed when I left had changed 2 times. So I had to rewrite it when I got home. And then Scott Van Pelt wanted me on his SportsCenter late night show that night too. So with Antonio Brown on the roster, anything is possible. Again, a blessing and a curse because it gave me a lot of TV time, but it also cut into my home life too. So it was a real interesting time. This was pretty rewarding because I was able, a couple of years ago, we used to do these weekly reports on video, and they would go on ESPN.com, and you just kind of give an update as to what the team is up to, what's the latest news. And I was on vacation, and I was back in Barstow visiting my parents, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to the alma mater and go shoot a stand-up on, in the same field that I played on in high school. So that's Barstow High, Langworthy Field. And I just get a kick out of it because, again, never thought that I'd be able to do something like that. And I'm not patting myself on the back by any means, but it's just kind of cool to be able to do that and to pay the respects, because it doesn't seem like that long ago when I was walking right off that field for high school graduation, let alone playing football on it. And then to be able to do that was pretty cool.
This is amazing, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, this one was, I'm 20 years old. Again, the Barstow Desert Dispatch sent me to a Raider game to cover a playoff game. And I snuck myself back there behind Marcus Allen as he's getting a post-game interview. And the coolest thing about this is that somebody made it a GIF. So anytime Marcus Allen is smiling or somebody has something funny to say, I'll put this up and say, hey, I've been around the Raiders since at least 1991. So this was pretty funny.
Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate this. This was amazing. Yeah. Honestly, we could sit here and go all day because I feel like I'm getting so much history. And for someone from California, when I moved here and I saw pickup trucks and cars with Raider Nation on it, I was like, what does that mean? And I didn't know anything, and people treat it like a religion. It's like, don't mess with the Raiders. And it's great to see that you are one of the people who helped craft that. And honestly, it's also great to see that you are still humble and still connected to your community to this day.
I try to be.
With us, I appreciate it. Would you all help me out and help applaud Paul as well for this? This was amazing. But also, this doesn't mean this is your last time to talk to Paul. Feel free to DM him with questions. He does have social media. He has a huge online presence as well. Would you just tell him your social media, Paul, please?
Yeah, on Twitter, at P Gutierrez ESPN. Instagram, same thing, P Gutierrez ESPN. And then I have a Facebook page. If you just look up my name, it'll pop up there as well. So it's it's again, my pleasure. If there's anything I can do for advice or to help somebody out, or somebody just needs to, shoot the breeze, I'm here for that too.
All right. Again, thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate this. And you all, again, please follow Paul. I'm really careful with who I tell, especially specifically young boys to follow, because their mind is so fragile and they can be shaken so easily. But this is one of the gentlemen in which you need to follow. Like, he's been leading by example for a very long time. And I guarantee you he's going to continue to do so. So again, thank you so much. And you all, you never know what the EXP family has in. As you can see, right. Paul, you never know what we may pull out tomorrow and the day after. So make sure y'all keep following. And when we put up, one of those, events, make sure you join, because you never know what a great speaker you may experience. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, you all, I'm going to hand it over to my director, who's going to give a couple words. Nicole?
Thanks, Dennis. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Martin Huezo, Director of Programs and Strategic Partnerships. I am so happy to be here this afternoon at the culmination of something that has been part of the EXP plan for many years now. Before we give you that program overview, I want to take a moment and thank the team that really made this happen. Kenya Teo, Eva Livingston, and Dr. Dennis Johnson have led this effort over the last few months to take this concept and idea that the EXP team has had for many years, put it to paper, bring it out to our stakeholders, engage and hear what the needs are from our educators, from our industry partners, take that back. Most importantly, hear from our students in terms of what their needs are, and built out a beautiful program, which we launched this January. And now, today, we're here celebrating. Thank you to our mentors for leading this vanguard. To our students, you are brave, you signed up, you helped us pilot this new program. We appreciate you joining each session and sharing your truths and speaking with power. It is so important, and we are so grateful that we are able to create this space for everyone. So thank you, Kenya, Eva, Dennis. Dennis is going to walk us through what this program has looked like and how we got to where we are today. And then we're going to hear from our students, which I'm so excited for. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to give a second to pull the presentation back up. All right, you all. Wow, this is really emotional. It's going to be my last time reading this. So EXP's Young Fellow program aims to engage and empower boys of color through a series of meaningful and impactful programming that nurtures academic, career, and personal success through a social justice lens. Now, I know you all can read that for yourself, but you would not believe how many meetings we had to go through to come up with that. And, you all didn't get to see the pictures, but I'm a senior program manager here. And, I was thankful enough to be a part of this program. But this program is literally put together and pushed by women. It's a program specifically for boys of color that's, honestly, a machine that's literally been put together by women, owned by women, ran by women. I'm just like the face. And I just really want to thank those ladies, Eva and Kenya, for really making it happen. Even Patty for bringing Paul in. Like, you would be amazed what it looks like behind the scenes. It's like, usually like yes and no, like they're all my bosses in a way. And I just, try to keep my head down and, stay out their way. And it's great to see, especially now looking at these highlights, I'm like, wow, they really made this happen. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it. You got Amy on the sponsorship, raising money. You got Eva and Kenya making the programming happen. Nicole is the director. So she basically putting us in, pointing us in a direction when we're confused or we may be a little off. And I'm just there like, all right, let me steer this in a way to make sure everything is going really, really good. But again, looking at these highlights, it's like they did a great job. Like a great job. This happened during a pandemic. And like we had 24 mentors, 46 students with over 12 schools represented. Like this is like, I'm just thankful because at first it was like, how are we going to make this happen online? All right, what about computer access? Then we got into like the digital divide. Then it's like, okay, what subjects do we need to touch on? Because there's so many that deal so many issues and things like that to deal with, boys of color. And then on top of that, we have police shootings that are going on. We have immigration issues that are going on. We have just family mental health issues that are going on. And it's great to see that we were all able to come together and make this happen. Some additional highlights, as you can see, is that, within the Young Fellows program, we we were able to provide a safe space. It was the first within EXP, I would say, in which it was exclusive to boys only. So when we started these breakout rooms, when we had our speakers, it was just a male only space. You can talk about whatever you wanted to talk about and ask any question. And honestly, you were surrounded by your brothers, and it was okay. You know, we had established our community rules and we just got to rolling. As Lisa say, a labor of love. We discussed topics of manhood and masculinity, which I will talk about later. We nourish the resources when it means, and what we mean by that is that what exactly does it mean to be a man today? There's no one definition of what it means to be a man. And that's one of the things we really, really wanted to push to these fellows, as in like, you don't need to, fit a certain media stereotype. You don't need to fit a certain professional stereotype. Honestly, the only thing you really need to do is be yourself. It's okay. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to cry sometimes and you're going to laugh sometimes, and that's okay. But know that your brothers and your mentors are here when you need help, when you need assistance, and that there's also resources that's available for you. In addition to that, we have multiple seniors going to college. We had some going to Harvard. We had other ones who are going to Berkeley and a bunch of other schools. And I'm grateful for these students because not only are they going, but they also reaching back to their community to make sure that they won't be the last to go to these schools. And last but not least, as a whole, the mentors and the fellows, y'all, we not only surviving, we thriving. And that's really good to say at a time like this in which you don't know what's going on mentally. You may be a little off, but hey, it's going right. And pat yourself on the back because at a time, with COVID and things like that, it's like, oh, I'm going crazy. But it's good to see that we all had a safe space and a consistent space that kept us moving. And we also had those women who were behind the scenes that kept that engine oiled. And hey, as you can see, we're here now. So we had four workshops. The first one, masculinity, what it means to be a man. Then we talked about mental health, and what that looks like in communities of color. As a man, do you cry? Should you fight? What are the stereotypes that comes with that? We talked about understanding advocacy. The school to prison pipeline. We talked about the issue that we see today in reference to like the Black Lives Matter movement, and things like that. And last but not least, we was like, okay, students, now that y'all know better, you got to do better. And honestly, we had a great speaker, Javier, who came in from Disney and talked to the students about what it means to dream your wildest dreams. And honestly, what we got out of that is that each dream looks different. And no matter how many times you get knocked down, you had to stand back up. And again, it was great. It was really, really great. And now we're here at the culmination. All right, so we're going to hand it over to some students. We got some testimonies for you all today. And our first student who's going to be talking today, his name is Joshua from Bright Star Secondary Charter Academy. Hey, Josh, how's it going? You look good, man. You look good. I like that shirt. Where you get it from?
I got it from you guys.
All right. That's good to know. Go ahead. You can start when you're ready, okay?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll start. Okay. Well, my name is Joshua Mims. I go to Bright Star, and I'm in 12th grade. And throughout these workshops, the most valuable thing I learned was how to listen and most importantly, understand, or at least try my best to understand. I was able to see many different perspectives everybody has and the way that past experiences affect the way we perceive or look at things. One thing that was really valuable to me was hearing about my mentor, Mr. Delton's story to success. The way in which he overcame challenges to get to be where he is now really stuck out to me. It demonstrated and showed the ways in which, with enough hard work, and most importantly, really putting your full-time effort and energy, anything is achievable and attainable. Throughout the times we had in our groups, I felt comfortable to speak, and overall, I am very thankful for the chance to voice my opinions. I would like to thank my mentors, Mr. Delton and Caesar, for sharing some very insightful gems, as well as my group and the people at EXP who made a program like this possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. And we wish you the success. And remember, this is not the end. This is only the beginning, okay? All right. Jason, would you care to come up next?
Okay. Good afternoon to my fellow mentors and EXP staff and everyone else. My name is Jason Rodriguez, and I'm a junior for Phineas Banning High. My academy is the Global Environmental Science Academy, otherwise known as GISA. To begin with, when I first received the email about the Young Fellow program, I didn't really entirely know what to expect. I just saw an opportunity that I didn't want to let go, as I just want to take any opportunity that comes my way. But as soon as our first workshop came to a close, I realized how amazing truly it was. 4 workshops down, and all of them were truly great experiences, and it's very hard to choose which one is my favorite. During the workshops, I learned through our spectacular guest speakers that even with the many obstacles in our life, we can truly reach any of our dreams. I felt a sense of inspiration and driving myself that said, if they can do it, I can do it. I can do it. As support to that internal voice for my mentors, each workshop was much more memorable with them. The much more intimate closeness of the breakout rooms finally has an experience. Having that one-on-one with each of the mentors about the different great topics we have covered from masculinity to our wildest dreams made me realize that despite the many awful things in our world today, there's hope for the future for myself and the others around me. I cannot express my gratitude enough for everyone who I've interacted with, the many promising young men and the great achieved mentors that will surely uplift our world into great heights. With that, I want to thank everyone at EXP who have helped me introduce and guide me through this experience. Thank you to our wonderful mentors and speakers as well for guiding all of us to a better tomorrow with their insights and wonderful words.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you so much for representing Danny so well. All right, you look good. I love the shirt. All right, will we have Tommy come up next?
My name is Tommy Daniels. I am a freshman from San Pedro High School. I'm the Business Academy, and honestly, when I first joined this program, I thought this program, I didn't know what to expect, but after coming back each and every workshop, I like this program more and more. I think it's very fun. You can learn a lot. One of the first things I learned is that as a career, I want to be a businessman. So one of my mentors recommended me that when you first start out a business, you have to do multiple tasks because you don't have much manpower. But as your business expands, you don't have to do as many tasks because you have more manpower. Yeah, we talked about toxic masculinity. To this day, I still don't know what a true man is. I believe that everyone is their own man. And along the way, I will find out what I want to do as a man, how I want to be my own man. And this program is really fun. You should, if anyone's in need or in need of advice or they're struggling in life, you should recommend them to this program. They can learn the different perspectives people have. The world we live in has so much evil, and we need to really do better with the racism, the climate change, the dirtying of our oceans, the pollution and everything. We need to do better. This is the only home we have, and we need to keep it clean. We need to preserve, and we need to do better as a species and just come together.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy. I really, really appreciate that. We all needed that. You all, can we clap it up for all the students who presented? Thank you so much for that, y'all. And I just want to thank these students for, again, giving out that time. It's really hard for them to do. Public speaking is hard in general, and honestly, they make it look easy. And again, these fellows will always remain connected to the EXP family. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. And we hope, to see them just prosper and hopefully one day join the EXP alumni family as well, okay? But we also have some testimonies from some mentors, starting off from Leonard, who's a consultant at the Washington Group.
Hi, how are you? I'm Leonard Washington. One of the questions I was asked is why a mentor? And you just saw it, right? You just saw an authentic response from 3 young men about what this means for them. I started out, I'd say my path to mentoring started out, I went to a Catholic elementary school, which had a church associated with it. So we would visit seniors, in senior citizens' homes. We do Meals on Wheels. Went to high school. My high school, another Catholic institution, strong community service programs. Went off to college, started tutoring. Pretty good in math and science, and then pledged a fraternity. And through that fraternity, I was able to take my community service up, to another level. My fraternity is Kappa Alpha Psi. We have a program at my chapter which is the Young Men of Achievement, which was started by another mentor on this, as part of this program, Mr. Paul Amos, great guy. We also nationally have a program called the Kappa League, which is focused on young men from 6 to 12. And ultimately, the reason I mentor is because it works, right? I've seen young men like Dr. Johnson, who runs this program. His story is incredible and moving. The speakers that he brought on, Miles, Miguel, and Javier, right? You see it works. And again, the young men that spoke just a few minutes ago, you see that it has an impact. And so, my advice, and you've heard it in one form or another from a number of mentors. One is believe in yourself, right? Muhammad Ali said, believe it and you can achieve it, right? When you walk into a room, act like you belong there because you do, right? Don't ever doubt yourself. When you walk into that room, you may be the only Black or brown person there, but hold your head high, shoulders back, and let them know that you belong. Second, perseverance, big word, means you get knocked down 7 times, you stand up 8, right? Because you're going to get knocked down. I can't soft sell that one at all, because you're going to have some adversity on your path to greatness. But, you get knocked down 7, stand up 8. And the third thing, which you have witnessed from, the men that are here to help you, you have to give back, right? Someone's pouring into you, and as you start to rise, you have to reach back and pull someone along with you, right? The impact of this program, again, went through the history, I've done a lot of mentoring. I love the progressive topics. I've never been in a mentoring program that dealt with these kinds of topics: mental health, advocacy, masculinity. So, kudos to to the planners here for really being progressive. And I've truly enjoyed my time here. Sorry, I don't have my shirt on. I'm actually in Washington, D.C. right now. And I didn't pack my shirt. So, but I'll take a selfie and send it back. Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for having me on the program.
Hold you accountable for that one as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right.
Great.
All right, you all. Next, we have Francisco, who is a vice president at Honda. Francisco, would you care to jump in?
The reason I ask is these students have all this fancy gadgets. As students realize that when I was your age, the big gadget, the big innovation was the microwave oven. And all you had to do was follow your mom's instructions that if you stood in front of it, you'd probably turn green. So, it's a different age. And that's, where I'm coming from. It's hard to top Paul, articulate and eloquent. So I guess since he used sports, I'm going to have to bore you with legal references. and so Dr. Johnson asked me, why did you do this? And what comes to mind is joint venture. And you're probably saying, what the heck is that? But you just think about it. It's really just a partnership. And the reason I wanted to do it was because I knew that we would have a joint venture. I would be the old company. Well, let me rephrase that. The established company, and you guys would be the students would be the startups. And that's exactly what happened here. It was indeed what I expected, and it was. And I suspected that I was going to be able to have something in common with you. I grew up in the same area. I went to Narbonne High School, and I figured that I would have at your age I had the same questions and apprehensions and curiosity. So that worked out very well to be able to do this. And indeed, it was a meaningful and impactful program. The mission statement was very accurate. Words like advocacy, mental health, masculinity. And now I'm going to make another legal reference, profanity. and the principals are probably getting ready to send me to detention, and Dr. Johnson's going to put me on mute. But the reason I bring it up is for a point that I think Josh made, and we learned from that. There was a 1964 U.S. Supreme Court case, and it was about the First Amendment. So the state of Ohio prohibited a movie. They said that's too naughty. That's pornography. And you know what the U.S. Supreme Court said? What the main Justice Potter said? I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. And that's what we learned here. I mean, Josh said, what was it? He doesn't really know how to truly, define it. But from our discussions, it was obvious that you guys learned, how to recognize and how to deal with it. So that was very meaningful. And by the way, Dr. Johnson told me as a lawyer, I only had 2 minutes, so I'm probably over by now. But if you'll indulge me, the last thing he wanted to ask about was if I had a few words of advice or wisdom. And for that, I'm going to tell you a lunch story. I'm here at my conference room right now at work. And about 1.5 miles from here, there's a place called Fantastic Cafe, and it's great chili burgers and chili dogs. And, my cholesterol doctor, I'm sure would, pardon the pun, have a heart attack if he knew I was going there. But I and some colleagues go there, once in a while, and certainly pre-COVID. And I'm not telling you that to make you hungry so that you think about chili dogs or so you see my dietary preferences. The reason I'm telling you is because when my colleagues are paying, I look across the way, and about 50 yards away is the house, the little place that I grew up in from the age of 8 to the age of 15. It's a 1-bedroom place, and it's basically 204th Street and Western. This Fantastic Cafe is 203rd Street and Western, very close to here at work. And when I look and I see my 8-year-old self or 10-year-old self, I say to myself, wow, think of the possibilities. Think of the possibilities when I was there and looking back this way. So that's what I want to leave you with is think of the possibilities. Paul said, you have to know when to retreat and when to move forward, but you have to realize that, you're going to hit some roadblocks. They're not dead ends. They're just roadblocks, and you're going to have to veer and figure out. And when you're going to go to college or to chef school, I heard somebody in our group saying he's going to chef school, which wants to do so. That's great. Think of the possibilities. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Francisco. I really, really appreciate it. Would you all please clap it up for our mentors? Without our mentors, this would not have been possible. And you all, I am also really happy to say that our mentors stayed consistent. It was really, really important for us to choose mentors who would serve as positive examples for these boys. And what we mean by that is someone who will show up because we want the boys to show up, whether that means, be, in other words, grow into men of their word, show up for school, be on time, and also to show up right. And these mentors did a really, really great job when it came to that. And honestly, really just leading by example. They reflect all different types of industries. We have people from law enforcement, people from real estate. We have attorneys. We have school superintendents who are on here again, and they came together and they honestly, they made it look so easy when they start having these conversations with these students. It's as if they were talking to their sons or their nephews or their younger brothers. And I just, again, I appreciate them, and I want to say thank you all again. And I will always, always remain in contact with you all and in depth with you all. And again, remember, please stay a part of the EXP family. Thank you all again. Please clap it up for our mentors. All right, you all. So now we're going to get into the scholarship part. I want to congratulate these 11 students, you all. So these 11 students who I'm about to talk about are all fellows within the EXP's Young Fellows program. They have remained consistent as well within the program. And honestly, they are now about to be congratulated with an amazing $200 scholarship. Each one of these students are going to receive it. Our first one is Jaden. Matter of fact, I want you all to do just light the chat box up. Congratulations, shout them out, because again, they remain consistent. They showed up. It was nothing but love. And again, they are a part of the EXP family now. So we have Jaden, we have Jamari, we have Brian, we have Favor, we have Jason, we have Dante, Christopher, Ian, Simon, and Manuel. Again, I want to say it again. We have Ian, Simon, Christopher, Dante, Jason, Favor, Brian, Jamari, Jaden, and Manuel. And again, each one of these students will be receiving a $200 scholarship. And thank you all. Thank you all. Again, thank you for those sponsors. Because again, like we talked about earlier, Julian Bannon, Prologis, Daniela, they are the ones who made this happen in addition to our mentors. So again, it takes a village, you all. One person can't do this. Like literally, it takes a village, especially when it comes to our boys, and they need us. And I hope that we all stay together to make it happen. So next I have for you all, we're approaching the ending. And before I introduce my director, I just want to say, you all, I'm transitioning out of EXP. In fact, today is my last day with the Opportunity Engine. I recently was given an opportunity with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. So now I'm working in Washington, D.C. with the United States House of Representatives. I am actually a John Lewis Social Justice Fellow, the first of its kind, and which required me to relocate to DC. So I'll be working on the Hill and, drafting a lot of policies and helping push certain laws dealing with education and things like that. And I'm going to miss EXP. I'm going to miss California. I'm going to miss the mentors. I'm going to miss the students. But remember that though I'm here in Washington, I will always be with you all. Again, like this we have to create a brotherhood. And like Paul said earlier, when he was showing those pictures at the beginning, he was like, hey, this is family, and at the end, we family, no matter what happens, we may fight, we may get into it or whatever, just like EXP, we family, the show must go on, the culmination must go on no matter what happens. And again, I'm thankful for this, but this isn't the end. Like I said, that engine stays oiled. Those women behind the scenes keep it oiled. And our director, Nicole, is going to tell you all about the next steps. Nicole?
Thank you, Dennis. And thank you for everything you've done for our students and for believing in this program and leading us to where we are today. We are going to miss you, but we are not going to forget you or your phone number. We're going to bring you back, and I hope that you'll be a mentor with us next year. As I mentioned earlier, this is a program that has been part of EXP's strategic plan for many years, and we were fortunate enough to be able to launch the program this spring. As we like to do at EXP is when we start something new, we like to start small, do it right, learn, and then go big. Next year, we're looking to expand this program to a full year of mentorship, bring in additional topics, those topics like I heard our mentors mention that are progressive, sometimes considered taboo, often go unaddressed because we know how important it is for our young people, our boys of color, to have a safe space to have these conversations. Mentors, stakeholders, sponsors, we hope you'll join us in the fall as we kick this program off. And most importantly, students. We're looking to grow this program to reach more and to continue these thoughtful conversations. We're very excited. We got to do this all together this year, and we're just looking to continue to build out and to have this program reach more. I want to ask Amy to step in and say a few words. Amy Gratt, EXP CEO, as Dennis mentioned, has been the woman behind so much of these sponsorships and for the vision along with the rest of the team. Thank you, Amy, for supporting us in this journey. And I just want to ask, is there anything else you'd like to add in our vision and what's next?
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Dr. Dennis and Kenya and Eva and the entire team. And as Tommy said, when you get to be big in the business, you do less and everybody does more. And I feel like what else is there left to say, because so much has been so eloquently articulated. Tommy, Jason, Joshua, you inspire me, inspire all of us with your energy and your optimism. Leonard and Francisco, thank you for your wisdom. Definitely 7 falls and 8 get up, as well as thinking of the possibilities. That is the attitude with which we approach this program. As Nicole mentioned, it really was a dream of ours for a number of years, but for all the reasons that we all know way too well, this was the year to make it happen. And this is also the program that really needs to move forward and grow. Our young men need our support. And this is the outpouring of support that happened just in this pilot year gives me and my team an incredible boost. And I see that we have a whole bunch of our board members on this call as well. We're coming up at that time of the year when we start planning for our next strategic thrust into the new governing and fiscal year. And I can guarantee you at our August strategic plan, Young Fellows program, and ways that we can build it out and make it even more impactful in the coming year is going to be top of the agenda. Thank you. Thank you all. And it's just wonderful to see your smiling faces because this is the community that makes things happen. Thank you.
With that being said, again, thank you all for everything. Please remember the fellows. We have your information. We will be following up with you. You will be getting emails about surveys, not only the fellows, but the mentors will as well. Again, we want you to stay a part of the EXP family. We work with over 10 additional schools. That means thousands of other students. So this is the last. We have plenty of other speaking opportunities, plenty of other mentorship opportunities, and we do not want to see you all come in and come out. In fact, we have alumni who come back and speak to the students, and we hope that the students now come back and speak to the younger students. So please, you all, please remain connected. Nicole, did you want to say anything? Just end us out.
Thank you all. And I'm so proud of the students. Again, I know that sometimes these topics can be really difficult to talk about. And I appreciate your vulnerability and your truth and bringing that to each session. And mentors, we could not have done it with you. It's been a long journey. We had listening sessions, we had board contribution, educator partners contribution. And I'm just so grateful for everybody that contributed to get us where we are today.
This has been a pleasure to all of you. You students, you are a part of EXP family forever at this point. So I had a student hit me up, hey, like, what's happening in the summer? Internship programs are happening. If you're a 10th grader, you're going to be in an internship program next year. So keep that in mind. We look forward to staying in contact. I love you all.